Yo, what's up, guys? I'm Zach,
And it's your boy DC.
and we got Article in the house today. What is up, dude? How are you, man?
What up? What up?
Hey, how we doing? Thanks for having me, man. Feels good to be here.
Hell yeah, dude. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, nobody cares though, man. Nobody cares.
Oh, well. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Yeah, but no, my bad, Zach. Go ahead, bro.
No, you're good, dude. So thank you so much for coming on, dude. On this podcast and video series that we're doing, we talk to industry professionals, artists, and producers of all genres. And you're definitely in one of those categories. Tell us a little bit about yourself and, how you got to where you are today.
All right. Well, so the name's Article, and that it stems from the genuine article, right? So, y'all may know like the genuine article is like the real thing, right? The real McCoy, like very authentico, and I come from a true place. Like my music, everything that I speak about, is a reflection of like all my experiences, right? Like, so it's just hard for me to like talk about things, that I can't relate to or haven't gone through or haven't been around. So that's where the name stems from, Genuine Article. And then just cut it, just for article. And then I probably cut it even shorter sometimes just to say art, just because like that's what this is all about, right? It's all art. Yeah, and besides that, man, I mean, I'm just a breathing, bleeding, humble human being, man, just trying to just be the best I can be, like every single day. And so, that's what Be Extraordinary is about, and you see it on my chest right now, extraordinary. That's a big part of how I live my life.
Awesome.
But yeah, from Carolina, been doing music for quite a while now, kind of like dabbling on in and out a little bit, and I'm back, baby.
Yeah, you definitely are. I mean, like, one of the reasons why we wanted you on here is because, like, you hitting us back to back to back. You know what I'm saying? So just kind of like give us a little history, like about like what made you get into music in the first place.
Great question. So my inspiration it was drawn from just growing up, being around it. Like my brothers, they exposed me to hip hop like really early. I might have been like 12 years old, probably a little younger than that, really. And my brothers, they were in the back room of the house. It was like a 3-bedroom house, little ranch, and they would be in the back room. We go to it's actually my brother David's house. It was my stepbrother. We would go over there and hang out in the back room, and he had a studio set up. Have the track recorder, the old style joint, you know what I'm saying? Had the little sampler and everything. And he'd be getting busy. And I was always so curious, they were having so much fun. Like, I think at the time, like, they were all in high school. And they would, just come by after school with my brothers and their friends, and they would just go in that back room and just start cooking up. I would see him get on the mic and just freestyle. I would see him like sample beats and stuff like that. And the energy was just crazy. And I was so young, like it was foreign to me, but at the same time, it just felt so right. And so, I just got some of that energy one day. I just went back there and I never left, man. And I just kept going back. And I think I wrote my first rhyme when I was like 13 years old. It's called My Stilo.
You say what? What was it? CeeLo?
It was called My Stilo.
Oh, My Stilo. My Stilo.
Yeah, Stilo. It was like 3 pages long, man. It was like one verse. It was like 3 pages, yeah. Never forget, man. I just kept writing.
Well, who like coming up in these times where you're a young dude, you're over here, music is an influence, you're getting it from this person, that person. Who was some of the artists that was popping back at that time that you was like, this is that sound right here. Like this person got it going on.
Man, that's easy. The thing about back then too, it was like a lot of underground music, right? Mm-hmm. Like back then, and I hate to sound like saying back then, like, I'm just like that old, but it was like you had to be good to like get a deal. You had to be like really like talented to kind of
Right.
like, you know what I'm saying, to like make a, you know, a stamp in the music game. And so I mean, you got your notables that were just crazy. Like Big was just like heavy influence. Nas probably, you know,
Mm.
Nas was like number one. He was my number one influence for sure.
Oh yeah.
You know, Pac, right? But then,
Mhm.
you know, there was Outkast, right? I remember their first album. Also, there was a lot of underground artists too that really caught my attention. Um, and like Company Flow. I don't know if y'all remember them. Actually, that's like LP. Him and Killer Mike. They have a group now.
That's dope.
Who else? Yo, Wu-Tang was heavy. Wu-Tang was a big
Oh
heavy
yeah.
influence. That was huge, man. Because I would listen to every single spin-off album from the group, right? Like
Right.
from, you know, like Ghostface albums to Raekwon, like all of
Mhm.
those, man. Like I was on it. So that's how I got my, you know, my introduction. You know, I was just exposed to a whole bunch of like really good music. And you know, I had people in front of me, you know, that had good taste. I don't know. So yeah.
What was there ever like a heavy Carolinas influence, or was it mainly always from the up top, since up top was pretty much holding it down?
Yeah, I mean, it was up top. I mean, New
Up
York
top.
was running it at that time, you
Mhm.
know. So like all the influence came from there. Like everybody,
Mhm.
like even if you was from the South, like you might put a little like New York accent on in your flow just a little bit, just to kind of like
Right.
get that vibe. But you know, times change, things like that. That was just that was a huge era though. I mean, all the
Mhm.
biggest, you know, artists would come from New York. You know, outside of like you said, like, you know, your Outkast. Also, I was listening to, you know, UGK at the
Mm.
time too.
Yeah.
So, you know, I got a little bit of everything. Even Trick Daddy. I remember Trick Daddy
Mhm.
was huge back then too, man. So I just pulled from a little bit everywhere.
So would you say a lot of those influences have carried on into your music that you're putting out today?
Absolutely. You know, I think, you know, there's a foundation there that's solid, right? Like, you
Mhm.
know, I just have a grip on like what good music is, you know, what timeless music is. You know,
Mm.
back then, you know, well, during those times, you know, like that's all people really focused on. Like it wasn't about, you know, what's hot now. It's like people wanted to really make a legacy and, you know, just make music that would just transcend generations, you know, like they cared about what they were saying. So the content was like, you know, it was heavy. And so, you know, it was lasting. Right. And so that stuck with me big time, you know, especially now, right? Like now people attention span is so short, you know, like,
Yeah.
you know, people don't even want to put three verses on a song now just because, you know, you're going to lose somebody. Right. And it's just different. You know, I respect the game now, but, you know, it was definitely different back, you know, around that time when I was coming up.
So that leads me to a perfect segue to the question that I was going to ask is, what are one of the things that you would like to see change in the music industry?
Mm. Um,
Now, a lot of things are going to change because of COVID, period. You know what I'm saying? But
sure.
like, is there anything about the industry that you just kind of like, man, this is like, I don't like that part of the industry and I wish that that would change?
I would say the only thing I would say that I wish would change is I guess like the apathy, right? Like the
Mm.
lack of care that a lot of people make music with. Um, you know, a lot of care, like a lack of care from, you know, like the fan bases too, right? It's like, cause whatever you support is gonna fly, right? So if people, you know, support something that, you know, is not cool, whether it's like messaging or whether it's just like, you know, culture kind of stuff, then it's like, ugh, it kind of shapes the culture into a different direction, you know? But you know what I mean by people not like lack of caring is like, you know, people not really so concerned about what they're saying,
Mm,
right? Like as long as they can get you hooked into, you know, whatever the hook is or the beat is, it's like they like check mark, you know what I'm saying?
right.
And
Mm.
so I think it's just a lot of that. I think it's a little bit too much of that. You know what I'm saying? But at
Like
the
a
same
lack of
time, like,
like a lack of substance.
yeah, it's a lack of substance, big time. Not even just a lack of substance, but a lack of creativity, right? Because it's like, look, like even if your style is a certain way to where maybe you're not gonna be heavy in content, that's okay. You know, everybody got their own art, but at the same time, at least be you. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't go be you this week because somebody was like that last week. You know what I'm saying? Don't like make your trajectory of who you are be based off of like what's happening right now. Just be you. That's my thing. That care about who you are, care about what you represent, and stand by that. You know.
So I noticed you said like there's like lack in like creativity and stuff. Why do you think? And this is kind of like a deeper question, but like, why do you think that is thriving in today's age? Just because of the quick attention span, or is there another element that we're missing?
Well, I mean, that's a great question, man. I think it's just, I think money is a big part of it too, right? Like, because like I said, like the listeners, they're gonna drive that, right? So if somebody's being successful off of doing it a certain way, then naturally people are gonna like just want to like copy, you know, and paste, right? They're gonna take that cookie cutter format and just try to apply it just to get like a quick dollar or just to get a quick buzz, things like that. And I mean, and it works, you know. So, like I said, I can't knock anybody for like trying to get a buck or anything like that. It's just, you know, I guess I care about like my craft a little more, you know what I'm saying, than others do. I care about like the trajectory of like where the culture goes to, you know what I mean? So I guess that's just why I feel that way. But I think it's just happening more because it's easy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's easy and you know, it's harder to be an individual, you know, like when people talk about one-on-ones, like that's very unique, right? Like these people that are really like standouts, they don't come around like every year. You know what I'm saying? Like these are people you might see once a decade, like your Kanye's, your Wayne's, like these artists like you don't see every day because they care, because they're unique and, you know, they have their own identity. You know?
I think that's a good lesson too, is like the people that are standing out are the ones that make it, you know? Like you have people that are taking part of that cookie cutter life, but you know, they're not going as far as other people.
For sure.
Well, so when people hear of Article for the first time, they hear your single for the first time or whatever, what is one of the messages that you want to get across to them?
I think I just want them to listen. I think like, you know, at the end of the day, just give me an opportunity to be heard, right? Like, just let it play, right? Like, just go into listening to my music with just an open mind. That's all I want because, you know, I think at the end of the day, if I'm given that opportunity, I think a lot of people are gonna like gravitate to it, you know. But you know, obviously, I would think that I'm biased to myself, but yeah, I mean, it depends on the song too. You know, if there's a certain song with a certain message that I'm trying to convey, then, you know, I would hope that that message gets across, you know, whatever that message is. But they got to listen first. Just hit play, baby.
There you go.
Nice, man. Quick question in regards to like the beats behind your lyrics. Does that ever influence the direction of your lyrics, or do you usually have lyrics beforehand and then you just kind of lay them over that?
So whenever I'm like creating, you know, an original like track, original song, it's always you know, something I've gone through, some kind of inspiration, something like drove me to that point. So sometimes like a beat brings that out of me and I just go. But I never come into like an original song, just like trying to like use something that I already had. You know, I might like go through some stuff just to kind of like get the juices flowing, but they don't get used. It just never fits, whether it's the tempo or whatever it is. It just, to me, it has to be like organic. So
Right.
I definitely like sitting with a beat. I like riding with a beat in my car for like weeks at a time, you know what I'm saying? Just to
Yeah.
like experience that, you know, because when you do that, it's just, you know, things just come to you. Well, to me, that's how my creative process works. It's like I just gotta sit with it and see what inspires me about it.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
No, it's dope. Beats definitely put you in a mind, like they help you kind of like help you paint that picture. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So this a question we like to ask everybody who comes on the show, because we always try to get some emix exclusives. So what is one thing that your fans really don't know about you?
Wow. Um, let's see, man.
Think you found something. Nah.
Yeah, that one thing. Maybe I don't know. You like to wear mismatched socks or something. I don't know. It's, whatever it may be.
That they don't know about me. Oh man, it's tough because I'm pretty like I'm an open book, you know, for the most part. But I'm I'm a homebody, man. To be honest, like I really like kicking it at the house. I love my family, you know. Like that's a huge part of my life. Um, it's like I'm Muslim as well, so that may be another thing too. People don't
Oh,
really know
dope.
right off too. There's some layers there, you know. By no means am I perfect, so I don't want to paint that picture. You know, for all everybody watching out there, like don't hold me to that standard. Look, hey, you know, I'm human, baby.
All right.
Um, but but yeah, you know, like I said, I just like to chill, man. Like you know, there's a lot of people, you know, in this industry, or at least the industry paints a picture of like what an artist is supposed to be or how they're supposed to be,
Mm-hmm.
especially rappers. And so, you know, I think a lot of times people get that picture of somebody who is always in the club or always, you know, at events and, you know, just always out and about or, you know, buying bottles or, you know, on the scene, I guess. But that's not, I'm okay. I'm cool, man. I'll be at the house. You know, catch me. I'll bring the party to me. You know, like that's how I feel.
Hell yeah.
No, I like that. That's a good one. Look, I'm a homebody too. I don't mind being at home. You know what I'm saying? So I feel you. I feel you.
You comfy, man. You got everything you need over there, man.
Let's go.
I like it.
Yeah, man. Like I mean, hey, look, that's a good thing about being like creative. Whether you paint, draw, sing, rap, you know what I'm saying, yoga, whatever it is that you do, you know, having those a little small element of that at home is a good stress reliever, really. You know what I'm saying? So it's dope that you have that. And speaking of stress reliever, being creative can be stressful and it can lead to writer's block. Um, and it happens to everybody. We just want to know what you do to, you know, minimize the writer's block.
Man, that's $1 million question right there. um, you know, so the funny thing is, I don't write that often.
There you go.
A lot of my music comes from just, you know, listening to that beat, like I said before, just riding with it and just letting my thoughts kind of come to me. And then, you know, when it happens organic like that, like it sticks. You know, like things that hold weight, they like stick to me. And so, you know, it allows me to memorize my thoughts. And so, you know, that's how a lot of my writing comes to me. And when I write things down, it's because I don't want to forget it, like by any cost. You know, I think Jay-Z said it one time. He said, I done forgot more than you ever learned. And like that, man, like that's so true, man. Like I done lost so many rhymes because I did not write them down. I would be at work or I would be like out and about somewhere where I just didn't have like the space or access or time to like really like get through and write every thought down, and then it'll be gone. I'll wake up the next morning and be like, yo, I had something. I just don't know. So, you know, that's why I try to like, you know, write them down, you know, sometimes, you know, but let's see. I mean, with writer's block, man, yeah, it happens to me more often than I like it to happen, for real. I really have to be inspired to like create, you know. It's just that's my art, man. And so writer's block, when it happens, it just sucks, man. You just gotta leave it alone and come back, right? Like, that's the best option for me. I just let it go and then come back to it.
So you said that you like write your stuff down now. Do you like, you know, write down your thoughts right when they come to you, like on your phone, or do you have like a little notebook you carry around? How do you do that?
Yeah, it's on my phone.
Nice.
You know, I used to keep the old school. I know y'all remember the black and white composition pads. Come on.
Yes. Yep. With like the weird pattern on it or whatever.
You already know the little freckles, the little.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Yeah, baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, I always remember because it looks like, you know, when the TV goes, when the signal gets bad, and it just like that's how
it's static. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to keep one of those, man. I ran through a few of those, but
you still have them?
Somewhere. I couldn't tell you. I'll probably have to make some phone calls to find them, but yeah, they're around somewhere, man. I'd be curious to find them too, because you know, there's no telling like what's in there. But yeah, I mean, now I just write on my phone. You know, if I have to write something down, like that's how I do it. But other than that, man, I try to memorize it, because what happens is the flow. A lot of times I noticed when I was writing more of my rhymes that I would try to fit more inside of, like, I guess, a bar than, you know, naturally should be possible.
There. Yeah.
And so, but so what happens is, like, when you're listening to the music, you know, and you're actually just like speaking to the beat, like it fits a lot better. I don't know how to explain that, but that's how it works. And you're not overthinking things. And so you just kind of like say that bar, it works, and you go to the next thing. And then the flow and the cadence is like, it's so much better.
You have an iPhone, right?
Nah, man, Android life.
Oh, dang, dude, you got to get. Here's why you got to get an iPhone. Here's why you got to get an iPhone. All right. So they have an app called Notes, right? And you can actually record voice in it, I believe. So either that, or you can use the voice memo app. And what's cool about that is you can, you know, actually speak the bars to the music that you're listening to at that time. So what helps with that is that you kind of get the feeling as well, instead of just the words written down.
Yeah, man. So you said that's on iPhone?
Yeah.
That's dope, bro. But you know, Android had that like 3 years ago, maybe 5. I don't know.
Oh, they did? Shit.
Yo, what's the odds? What is the odds that we was gonna run into an iPhone Android situation on this podcast?
Man, it's life, man.
It's okay.
Now, man. I think it is, man. It's fun.
Oh man, because that's an inside thing that me and Article been dealing with for years now, bro.
Oh, really? That's hilarious. That's funny.
Absolutely.
It's okay. We'll convert you soon.
Oh man. So, Zach, you got another one? What you got?
Yeah, man. So besides the beats and just listening to them in your car, are there other like different types of inspiration that you have, like, you know, like going on walks, family? Are there other types of inspiration that you have that you pull into your music?
Yeah. You know, all right. So when it comes to music, right? Like, first of all, it's art, right? And I think when you're doing art at a certain level, I think, like, you know, you were kind of like called to it in a way, like, right? Like for me, like it's within me. Like I can't live without it. And it's like, even if I tried to not do music, I would still wake up in the morning or in the middle of the night and have like some clever shit that came to mind, and I'd be like, okay, and so it's like, dang, like, so with that said, man, the inspiration comes from like, I look at it as like a blessing, I look at it as like a gift. And, even if it wasn't music, right? Like the ability to like articulate yourself and compose it in a certain way to where you're able to like, message it to someone else and hopefully inspire them, that inspires me, right? The fact that I could come up with some words out of thin air, right? And then maybe change somebody's day or week or month just because they heard it. Like that inspires me. And then on top of that, man, it's almost like I feel indebted, because it's like, yo, if I was blessed with this, the gift to think and create in this way, then I feel in debt to share as well, in some form or fashion. There's other inspirations too, man. I mean, my family's a huge inspiration. God's a huge inspiration. I'm not like the super, religious person or anything like that, but I am a spiritual person, and I believe that things happen for a reason, so that inspires me too, and it just feels like a calling. I don't know how else to say that, but also one thing too, man, because I think about this a lot, right? So I think like real pure genius, right, is not like the person who, necessarily like graduated from Harvard, super magna, cum laude valedictorian, all of these robes and ribbons, right? Like that's cool. But I think true genius is like creating something like from nothing. Right? Like it didn't even exist before you composed it in your mind and like spit it out, right? Or drew it, or paint it, whatever it is, right? Like whatever your your medium is, it's like, yo, like that only can come from you. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, that's true genius, man. Like producers, like, yo, man, like, yo, DC, man, like, dog, what you do, bro, like, you can't like,
Right.
like discount that at all, bro. Overlook that, man, because that's a gift, man. That's true genius, bro. Like, you something in you, you know what I'm saying, that no one has, right? And
Wow, that's crazy.
And you can change the world with that.
I've never ever heard anyone say it like that, and that is freaking beautiful, dude. I appreciate that a lot.
No doubt, man.
That's an article.
Man, that's just what it is, man. That's just how I feel. But
let's take it back real quick.
Sure.
90s. Give me your artist of the 90s.
Nas.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. 2000s, from 2000 to 2010.
That was tough, because I would have to go. I mean, because like after Nas was just like, it was Jay-Z. It was like Jay-Z just totally dominated everything rap-wise after that. But there was like so many. Dang, that's hard, man. That's hard. Sheesh.
A lot more competition in that time?
It was a lot. I mean, because you talk about 2000 to 2010, like that was like the emergence of like, what, Kanye?
Yeah, that's my choice. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so
you got Kanye. You still got Jay-Z in that era. I mean, you got a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people. You had to, but if you had to pick one, you got to ride with one.
So if I got to ride with one for the 90s, I mean, that's hard. Now I'm partial to Nas just because that's my favorite artist. But as far as like impact on the 90s and like culturally and all of that, like, I mean, as much as I love Big, I think Pac kind of like took the 90s when it came to that part, as far as like total, like influence, right? Like, like I think Pac had the 90s on that one. lyrically big. Nah, still my favorite, but I think Pac had the 90s. Then 2000. Let's see, from what'd you say, like 2000 to 2010?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with Jay.
Okay.
I gotta go with Jay. It's a hard one, but I mean,
Okay.
he pretty much was like the top person. Like, even though Kanye was, just man. I mean, he changed like music. You know what I'm saying? Like from samples to like doing it all, right? Like in such a high level of rap, like that's a hard one, but I still gotta give it to Jay. The consistency is ridiculous.
And then what about 2010 to today? Yeah.
Probably Drake. Yeah, I mean, in every facet of the game, as an overall pick, I gotta go with Drake. I mean,
yeah. That's the all around package right there.
Yeah.
Like from business to music to empires, it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he just completely just took over like every facet of the game. I mean,
right.
Endorsements to everything. I mean, he's got a Jordan, bro. What do you mean? He's like, he's got a shoe. He's got a Jordan.
Dude, what I love about Drake too is that he's what he does so well is he stays with current times, but he still, and no pun intended, articulates it, into a way that makes sense for, the masses. But it also is like meaningful, like it's not just like, there's a couple songs here and there that are fun and cool, but like he really like talks about real shit too.
Yeah, I mean, he gives you the total package. Yeah, I mean, I don't see anybody else who's been that dominant at all for that era. There's a lot of people that I like, even more than I like Drake. But as far as like total dominance, I mean, hats goes off to him. I mean, you got your J. Cole, you got your Kendricks, you got, man, there's so many. Yo, all right. Let me ask y'all, because, this one's always like tough, right? But what about like lyricism, like in hip hop? Like, who do y'all think is like the top lyricist for like the last, let's say, 20 years? Top.
Last 20?
20.
Then I'm going with Jay-Z.
Just lyrics alone. Lyrics alone. Now, I don't care about their hits. I don't care about, their influence or their popularity, or I don't care about none of that. If you just talk about straight, word for word, just,
If you shorten the years, I might say somebody else. But if it got to be 20, I'm going Hove.
So 20 years now. Remember, I know time flies, but it's 2000 to 2020, right? So you going with Hove? All right, bet. Who you got? Who you got, Zach?
One of my faves, A$AP Rock. Not A$AP Rocky, A$AP Rock.
A$AP Rock.
Yeah, have you heard him?
Are you being funny right now?
No, I'm serious. You haven't heard A$AP Rock? Guys, come on.
Is he messing with me?
No, I'm not. Check him out, A$AP Rock. He's a super good rapper, man. I listened to him like growing up and
Really?
Yes.
All right. Yo, everybody watching this gonna go Google that dude.
They are, bro.
Hey, look, he might be dope. I just don't know.
He's super dope.
I'm Article, bro. I do not know and never ever heard of an A$AP Rock.
Yep. Dude, he was before A$AP Rocky. And when A$AP Rocky came out, I was like, bro, he totally took that name from A$AP Rock. Like, I was so pissed.
Oh, wow.
See, hey, you learned something new today.
Yeah, man.
I know I did.
Definitely go check him out, dude. He has some good shit.
That's tough. That's tough, man. It's tough out here for A$AP Rock because he
he got swept under the rug.
He should have trademarked that thing or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's boy. That's that Jordan that never made the league right there, huh?
Yeah,
Man,
it's all good.
Sheesh.
His music's
I
so
got one
great.
for you
So.
though. I got one for you.
Ready.
His lyrics alone, right? 3 stacks.
Yeah, he up there. Yeah, Andre 3000 for sure. And like I said, if you would have shortened the length of time, you know, people like him would have been in that, you know, that running for me.
Okay.
The crazy thing about Jay-Z is as you grow and you live a little bit more, you experience certain things happen to you, your vocabulary gets, you know, more vast, and you listen back, you appreciate his lyrics even more. You know what I'm talking about? So that's, and he had such a long run, so many albums, and all those albums was touching on different topics. That's why I picked Hov. But there could have easily been a J. Cole if you would have put a certain amount of time. Could have easily been Andre 3000 if you put a certain amount of time. But for 20 years, yeah.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I already gave him the decade. I already gave him the modern, you know, dominance. But yeah,
yeah. But that was a good. I like that. I like that. That was a cool little. So this helps me segue into the next question then. Right. So as an artist, if you could work with anybody, dead or alive, on one of your projects, your next single or whatever, who would that be?
Wow. You said next project or next single?
Your world.
That's pretty vast.
Single.
All right, single?
Single.
So I'm thinking, like, if you're talking about single, I'm definitely thinking business, as well as just like raw, just undeniable talent. I feel like we had this conversation before. That question right there, yo. I think I'm gonna stick with it, and that's tough, man. All right, so for single wise, I'm gonna go with Beyonce.
Oh, all right. I dig it.
Here's why. You didn't say hip hop.
No, I didn't. I just said artist, dead or alive. You pick.
All right. So here's the thing. When it comes to a single, if I'm putting out a single right now, right, like, you know, God bless the dead, you know, I would love to do songs with, you know, Big, Pac, and other artists, Big L too, right? Like, he was a heavy influence on me as well. But, you know, I'm thinking, like I said, business, and a lot of, like, people now don't really, you know about their music that well or that in depth, right? So I would love to work with one of them on, like, a project, right? But as far as a single, I would go Beyonce. And that was like my 1A was Beyonce, my 1B was Jay, right? And here's the reason why. And Drake's there. He's definitely there. And it's hard not to even say it. This is a very hard question. Right. But the thought behind Beyonce is that I'm transcending hip hop, for one, right? And going into like that realm of like all her fans. Right, single wise. So that's an impact alone. Also, doing a song with Beyonce, I'll probably get the recognition of Jay-Z too, right? And then we're probably gonna work down the road. Hey,
you know? and it's Beyonce.
It's Beyonce, bro. And like I said, I just think that record could travel, you know, a lot further.
What would she do? Like a hook? Like or verse, like
I don't care.
It don't matter.
Yeah, I don't care. You know, whatever she wanted to do. But you know, definitely a collaboration, man, for sure. I think that'd be dope, man. Just because, you know, even though she's this huge artist, you know, you can tell she cares, bro. Like she cares. She cares about what she put out. She's very selective, and you know, she just executes every single time, man. And yo, Beyonce even like got bars for you. You know, I don't know if it's all her or if it's Jay or combination, but she can go either way with it, and you know, you already know what that's gonna be. So.
Right. She's letting us know that with her last feature. So, okay, Zach, unless you got.
Oh yeah. So I have a quick question. Since this is going to be a podcast too, with no visuals, I've been checking out the painting behind your head. Like, what is that? Like, you describe it to us?
Absolutely. Can y'all see it?
Yeah, half of it.
All right, cool.
Describe it to those that are listening to the podcast who can't see us.
In great detail.
So this was a gift from my wife. Shout out to Christina. Love you, babe. She was working at her old job. She was working with an artist who is pretty well known. Like, honestly, I don't remember his name. I'm sorry, man. I wish I could give you all the shine in the world right now on this podcast, but it's been a long time, and I'm sorry. But it's dope, right? And what he did, I think it's like Bugawi or something like that. It might be his name. It's on the side. I don't know. Sorry if I messed it up, my man. But it's LEG, right? And the LEG that's the brand. It's League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why you see extraordinary on my chest. If y'all can see that, you know, boom, there you go. It's definition of it. The merch will be on available soon, so keep checking out my Instagram at Articlemusic. Cheap plug. All right, moving forward. LEG stands for League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, right? And so what he did was it was like a combination. Let me just pull it up real quick so everybody can get closer to
it. It got a little bossy out feel to it a little bit.
Yeah, right. Like I just thought it was fly, man. It's a lot of like depth in it, and it's like you know, he's got the L and the E and the G, and it's like blended in there, but it's also like, it reminds me of like some kind of like subway graffiti, right? And it's got like, you know, it's got like some elements in there, like it's like some birds, some birds in there. It's like a face.
You got
it's like some eyes in there. It's like, you know, it's just a combination of things. It's like a hat in the corner, you know. It's like
it all like flows together super well.
Yeah, man, it's dope, man. It's like it's faces in it too. Like this is a whole face right here. I don't know if y'all can see. Sorry if my
yeah, holy shit, I didn't see that. That's tight.
It's like a whole face in here. It's like the more you look at it, the more things that you find. And so, you know, that's why I like it, man. It's just art, man. I thought it was just so super creative, man. And you know, the guy's just he's been doing this thing. I know he had a write-up in AJC a couple years ago too, and so he's definitely, you know, known for his work, man. He's got a lot of work in Atlanta that he's done murals wise and stuff like that. So
was he from Atlanta?
Maybe I get another piece from him, man, for giving him this plug.
Oh yeah.
I gotta get his name though.
Right. Yo, so let's dive in real quick, because you've been releasing a lot of music as of late. Don't get me wrong, I've lost count because you've been hitting us back to back to back. I think like four or five records, right? So, something like that.
Yeah.
So, kind of explain like the music a little bit, because I got a couple of my favorites out of that, you know, run that you just had with releasing, but just talk about a couple of them.
Yeah. Well, man, I've been sitting on some music, and you know, some music I never released, some music I released, but I never like really put it out there. And I just wanted to share it, to be honest, man. And Some of my favorite songs, to be honest, man, like when I ride in my car, like I'm not going to front, like I listen to some of my stuff because that inspires me too. Just because it's a challenge to like kind of like trump that, you know what I'm saying? Like not like that dude in the presidency. That's not what I mean. But yeah, just to try to get better and better, right? Like challenge myself. So, but I wanted to put that out because like I said before, man, like I care about my music. I care about what I'm saying in my music. And so I think it transcends time, right? Timeless music, man. And so I felt like, yo, I can put out a song in 10 years that I made tomorrow. And I feel like it would still ride, just because, the element of the content's there, right? Like just the individuality's there, right? And I try to deliver it in a way that's like, fun at the same time too, right? So, but yeah, I just wanted to make sure, man, that people knew I was still here, man. I felt like people, might have forgotten that I did that, and I couldn't have that happen. It would be a crime, man. Like I said, I feel in debt, to my gift.
Yeah, that's good. Couple of them stand out to me. I think I was making a joke of it earlier, like the Nobody Cares and the what's that joint? Oh well.
Yeah.
The most recent one.
Yeah.
Was it Party? What was the name of that joint?
That was called Going Down.
Going Down. Yeah.
That one's tight. That one has some like old vibes to it, but it's like almost like a party anthem, right?
And that one right there, man, I love that one. It's definitely a party vibe, but I love it because it gives me like, I feel like I'm at a college house party. And I went to college, man. So shout out to North Carolina A&T, man. My Aggies, what up, man? How y'all doing? We out here, Aggie Pride. That's right. But I've been to a number of house parties, man, and I've thrown some of the most epic college house parties as well. J. Cole actually came to one of my house parties as well in Greensboro. But that song put me in like that mode, man, and it's like, it was nostalgia in a way. So that one sticks to me. You mentioned Oh Well.
Yeah. I just like those few gave me like that up north vibe that you don't really hear too much anymore. But I like the message. I like how you were just like you just paving your own way, and you got to do what you got to do, and you got to do that regardless, because even if you don't, or if you do, people really ain't gonna acknowledge the hard work you putting in anyway. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yeah, it's like, oh well, you know what I mean? It's crazy.
Nobody cares. Like so I made a mixtape called Nobody Cares. I released that it might have been 6 years ago now, maybe longer. Yeah, it might have been like 7 years ago. And I released a mixtape called Nobody Cares. And that whole vibe and the theme of that mixtape was exactly what you said, right? It's like you put all this work in, but like nobody really cares, right? They only care about like the finished product. They only care about what they can see and what they can take advantage of it from, right? And so, I ran into a lot of like just resistance, man. Like in that time of my life, man. Like I paid for shows, or I paid to perform. Like I paid to get on mixtapes, right? And it's like, it's a lot of like hustling in the game, man. Everybody trying to get a dollar at your expense, right? And then also too, man, it was just a lot of adversity, man. I was just, when it came to like females, when it came to like police, when it came to like, I was broke as a damn joke, bro. I was like, I think I spent my last buck on some music, man, on getting some covers printed up and duplicating some CDs and stuff and handing them out. I was like making press kits, trying to get other artists to like buy some press kits and stuff to get promoted, get more exposure, stuff like that. I was just going hard, bro. And like I went broke, man. But nobody cared. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody cares about that part, right? Like they only want to hear the success story, right? They only want to know about all of those failures once you've already made it. And so while I was going through it, it just felt like nobody felt me, and I didn't have like the support. And so I was just speaking my mind. And so when you hear that song, Oh Well, like every single thing that you hear in there, I lived that, bro. Like straight up. Like when I talk about strip club in the afternoon, shooting pool, you know, I play a lead role in the booth, I act a fool. Like that's real, bro. I was at pinups at the lunch special, right?
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? Blowing it down, like, cause yo, the the wings were stupid cheap. I was broke, bro. Eating lemon peppers at the strip club, man, with some of my homies, man. You know, and you know, I got a ticket in Atlanta. Like when I first moved to Atlanta, man, I got like a stupid ticket, you know, like that clearly we shouldn't have got. Like it was like going the wrong way on a one way or something like that. The cop ticketed me, and it just pissed me off, bro. I didn't have the dough to really pay for no ticket right then and there. And then come to find out, like they was like writing a lot of tickets at that time, you know, to help like get promotions and stuff like that. And that's actually what you see in that video, the slideshow. That's a part of the Oh Well. So just know when y'all see that and when y'all hear my music, man, like it's real, right? Like I'm not trying to keep up with nobody. Like this is from the heart. That's why my name's Genuine Article.
Yeah. That's. I think it's so important, and I think the music just comes out a lot better when artists really just speak your experiences. You know what I'm saying? Like it's okay if you didn't go through some of the same struggles as somebody else. It's okay if you had to take a different path than someone else, but speak on it and have that be your truth and put it in your music. You know what I mean? I just feel like that's so important, and it's just a shame when I feel like a lot of artists, they just try to speak someone else's story, and it's not genuine.
Totally agree. That goes back to what you were saying too, man. Both of y'all, is like you brought up, you know, you was asking like why is the game the way it is, or why I feel like you know people don't care as much, you know, because of that, man. It's just like, you know, it's allowed, right? Like, you know, you got people out here who never sold a gram of weed talking about they moving bricks every day, and it's like, like.
It's like, are you?
Because it sounds good, bro. Like, it's people out here locked up and really dead because they live that life, and it's like for you to kind of try to portray that, it's like
almost insulting in a way.
And it's just corny. I mean, you know, to each his own, but you know,
but it's whack though. It's whack,
bro. I can't relate. Sorry. Can't relate. I got friends, you know, locked up for that. I got friends that have been locked up. I got friends that are not here because of like lifestyles and things like that. And so it's something that I don't take lightly, you know, and it's something that you don't hear me talking about moving all of this dope or, you know, even being involved in that, even though I've been around a lot of that, you know what I'm saying? I could tell you about a lot of that, you know what I'm saying? Like first-hand stuff I've experienced, but I guess it's just not what I want to highlight, and it's just not, that wasn't like my life. Like I didn't like live that exact like life that a lot of people are talking about. And so, you know, I just do me, you know, stay in my own lane.
With COVID going on, what aspects you think will be hit the hardest? Like what parts of the music industry you think are going to get hit hardest because of the whole pandemic? Or do you think once it's over, everything will be back normal again?
I don't think it's ever going to be the same. I think this is a time that people are going to write about, you know, for years to come. You know, when it comes to the music industry, I think that it's going to affect like a lot of video production, maybe, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, where it's going to be harder to maybe shoot a video in the strip club. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's like these things, it's just tougher with all of these like rules in place, but also like a lot of the fear, you know what I'm saying, that's around too, all the unknowns and stuff like that, a lot of poor leadership, so people don't know what to do. You know, but at the end of the day, man, you know, I don't think that there's going to be a great impact on music too much. I think it's more to pull from it to even like talk about in music or even to like expose in music, you know what I'm saying, that's going to be much greater than the bad side, the bad effects of it. Because I just think like as a culture, man, hip hop, or just music in general, like it's just so resilient. I mean, like you look at all the times that music has gone through, like all people do is just like talk about it and it helps. You know what I'm saying? It helps heal, you know what I'm saying, whatever else somebody might be going through at that time too. So, you know, I think it's a special time, but I don't think it's like something that's gonna like be detrimental to the game.
So in a way, you think there may be like even more growth from people's experiences through COVID?
Absolutely. You know, especially when, you know, technology is the way it is, right? Like, you know, you can record a song at home. You know, you can open up your laptop and make a song. You don't have to go to the studio, right? And so you got the internet, you got social media. You can just put it out on your own. You don't have to like get signed. You don't have to go and sit in nobody's office or wait in line to, you know what I'm saying, to
Yeah.
promote your music. I think something that is hurting right now, the biggest impact I can see right now would be like live performances. I think that's probably the biggest one because, you know, you got to have people, you got to get exposed to like, you know, bigger crowds, right? And I think about like that up and coming artist, you know, that's like opening up for another act, right? And it's like, you know, that's their moment to like gain so many more fans that they never had, right? And, you know, that opportunity is lost right now, you know. Um, so it's kind of like falling in the favor of people who already have a fan base, right? Or people who are able to like just pay, you know, to kind of like get promoted. So, I mean, it's interesting. It's definitely interesting, man. It's a great question. I
So
think that the person who can figure that out, or people who can figure it out, are going to be very, very well off.
yeah, we were talking about that last episode, just kind of like, you know, doing live streams and stuff. I'm more on like the EDM side of stuff. So I've been seeing, you know, a bunch of DJs and everyone like doing their sets and stuff.
Yeah.
Since I'm not like too familiar with like the hip hop rap world, have you seen increase of live performances with rap and hip hop on like live streaming, like Facebook or Twitch?
Um, not. I can't say I have seen it like an increase. I mean, I know a lot of people like I see a lot of people going on live, but not to like perform so much, is to just kind of like put on another kind of show, right? Like just kind of like talk, you know, talk shit,
Right.
or do like an interview, you know, something like that. I see a lot of that, but like actually performing, I haven't seen that as much. You know, what I think has been dope that's going on in hip hop is like the verses stuff that I've been seeing, like Timbaland and Swizz. They've been putting together some really cool stuff, man. Like
Those are
like
dope.
Jill Scott, Erica Badu, like, you know, like the, you know, the what else did they have? Oh, the Luda, Nelly, like all. I mean, every single one I've seen has been like very notable, and I think like the idea is just really very cool, man, and it's
So what are
enriching.
they doing specifically?
Say that again.
What are they doing
He
specifically?
said, yeah.
Oh, what are they doing? So basically, Timbaland and Swiss Beats, they're like they're matching up artists in different periods of like time, right? That have had like a good amount of like hits, right? And it could be artists, and also they mention like producers as well. So it's like they'll have like a back and forth beat challenge. I think it was like Manny Fresh and
Scott.
yeah, Scott Storch, right? And then you had like the RZA against DJ Premier.
Primo. Yeah.
Primo. Yeah, Primo. Yeah, DJ Premier, absolutely. Like it's legendary, man. Right? Like, so it's just that concept of like keeping it fresh and going back to the S, you know, and with the platform we have now, and it's so dope, man. I've been seeing a lot of that, but as far as like people actually like just getting in front of the camera and like performing for people, I haven't seen too much of that. I think maybe we should have more of that.
Yeah, man. It might be a good marketing opportunity for you.
Hey, man, that might be kind of cool. Hey, let's do it.
All right.
Let's go.
Awesome,
Let's
man.
go.
I have one more question for you on my end. But for, you know, future artists, rappers, singers, anyone who's, you know, thinking about diving into the music industry more seriously, what's like one piece of advice that you would give them?
Be you.
Mm.
Like I said, man, like be you, man. You know, that's the beautiful thing about music. It's like it's yours, you know, and it's your art, it's your voice, it's your sound if you're a producer, or, you know, it's your style if you're a DJ, right? You know, just be you, you know, because at the end of the day, that's the only thing that's lasting. You know,
Yeah.
you can live the rest of your life being you, but being somebody else or trying to do something that's here right now, like that's fleeting, man. Like that's not gonna stick. You know, a decade from now, you're not even gonna know how to do that.
Yeah.
The only thing you're gonna know is what's in your heart. So I would say, you know, be passionate about what you're doing. You know, and don't let anybody tell you, you know, to do anything other than follow your heart.
Mm-hmm.
I love that,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, that's dope. I mean, that's gold. That's gold. And if people really understand that and really take the time to like digest that, it'll help them out with their music tremendously. I feel like. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I mean, you've been making music for quite a long time. What's some of the things different now than you noticed like back in the day when you were making music? Like, do you feel like the way people release music or like just the question I'm asking is like, you know, when I used to make music back in the day, we used to have like, and we used to envision like our album cover, the book that was gonna go inside the CD. You know what I'm saying? To see like, we used to like have all that already mapped out. Now I feel like they don't even like that's so secondary. I feel like they don't even think about that kind of stuff. Do you see that as well?
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. It's a different game, you know. Look, man, like you just made me think about all the like things that I was going through, but also just like the cool stuff about like buying some new music, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
cover art, right? Like the booklets you
Yeah,
talking about, right? Like I used to flip
yeah,
through that, man. Like that was very interesting to me. It was cool, man, because you know that was part of like the creativity. That was part of like the project, man, and it all came together. So I think that you know I think people get away from that now, maybe just because of the attention span. I think people just, you know, things just don't last as much as they used to. You know, like you could, an album would come out and you might ride to that for like the whole summer, you know, or the whole year. But now it's like, okay, I heard that maybe for like 2 weeks, and then I'm like
right.
kind of on to the next thing. I
Mm.
think that might be why, but
Yeah, that makes
I miss
sense.
it, man. I love things like that, man. That's like attention to detail. Like I said, that's
Yeah,
care, right? Like
yeah,
that's care. Like you care about like the overall presentation of your project. Like when you put in like interludes, intros, and skits on in your albums, man. Like that's cool to me, man. Like that makes it more cohesive. It gives it
yeah.
more of a vibe.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
That
right.
stuff that I still
It
enjoy.
makes it like it makes it a complete body of work and not just a bunch of songs.
Precisely. Precisely.
Hey, Article, drop your Instagram, social media, drop everything so people can follow you.
Absolutely. Hey, please go check out. My main mode right now is like IG and YouTube. Hardly on Facebook, but either way, IG is Articlemusic. You'll see me in a corner with like a white and red and blue shirt on like this. So check it out. It's just a Be Extraordinary as well. So Articlemusic, and as well as YouTube Articlemusic as well. So check me out. You know, I'm still got some more music coming. So look out for that. Plan on hitting y'all with some throwback Thursday joints, so y'all can kind of like see where my foundation came from and some of the work that I put in, you know, over the years. So, and also look out for some new as well, right? So some things bubbling.
So can I talk about some of the new real quick?
Sure. What's up?
So some of the new, I think we got our good friend involved. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just hearing what I hear. Silk. We got Silk Wilk. We got Silk
Oh,
Wilk.
really?
Yo, shout out to Silk Wilk. Man, he's just a good dude, man. This man, he's been working. I know y'all seen him, man. He's been working. I mean, the dude puts like, he might have like 2 or 3 beats out every day, right? Like, or at least every morning. Like, I wake up and I'm on my feed and I see like another one, and I hit a little sound like, Brandon, what you got on? So shout out to him, man. I'm definitely looking forward to work with him very soon, man. So we got some things cooking up, man. I'm excited.
That'll be dope. And then you know us here at Emix, we gonna make you sound flawless.
Oh, already. Yo, man, and I appreciate you, in all that you've done like thus far and going forward, man. Like, y'all have been working, man. So don't think that goes overlooked, man. Like, keep doing your thing, man. And I'm excited for y'all too, man. I know we all got our place at the top, so let's go get that.
Hell yeah, man.
Let's go. Well, hey, man, this is DC. We got Zach right there. We got Articlemusic right there. This is the Emix podcast, and we out this thing.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank y'all for having me, man.
Yeah, dude, it was a pleasure. Thanks for coming on.
No doubt. Stay safe. Peace.
Peace.